Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm joined today by a good friend of mine, Kevin DeBruin. He is a former NASA rocket scientist turned space educator and an American Ninja Warrior, which is the reason I've asked him down today. Today's workout is a combination of both of our strengths. 5 exercises performed with a superset of a more functional, dynamic exercise. So Kevin, how do you train for something that you don't know what it is that you're gonna be doing until last minute?
Well, that's the thing. We have no idea what we're doing, so I have to train for everything. I need to train for the muscular endurance and strength to figure out this puzzle that's put in front of me. So I'm doing things like plyometrics, calisthenics, still some bodybuilding stuff, and then cardio definitely.
Love it. You mentioned plyometrics and muscular endurance, which is sort of the pairing that we're gonna be doing for today's workout. So, you know me, I like my straight sets, repetitions, basically a bodybuilding type approach to a workout, but I figured with having you here today, we'll complement that with some more less rep-based movement and much more functional, dynamic, explosive movements as well, both equally kind of pairing the muscle that we're training. So even though there's 5 exercises, each one is focused on a particular body part. We have chest, back, shoulders, biceps, and triceps. We have a cable-based exercise that one of us will perform 4 times, 60 seconds, whilst the other one performs a complementary exercise that is more of a, how would you describe
More
it?
like a lifestyle side of things,
I like
right?
that.
You're getting
I
away
like that.
from the standard gym equipment and using things you could essentially put together in your garage.
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna combine the best of both. We're gonna perform 60 seconds each and then switch over. That is the end of our first circuit, and then we'll move on and work our way through circuits 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a minute on each one. I found this a great way to work out with a buddy, partner, a spouse, a trainer and client. Really gets it done. You challenge each other, and it's as many reps as you can do within those 60 seconds.
Just doing it alone, I'm not able to push myself as hard as when Rob says, hey, we still got 20 more seconds to
There's
go.
a challenge aspect there.
Yeah.
How you feeling? You ready?
I'm ready to take you on.
All right,
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so first up, we've got our banded row pull-downs, and we're complementing that with our kettlebell swings.
Yeah, the kettlebell, I love switching up to it. It's different than the dumbbell. I mean, if we're trying to do kettlebell swings with a dumbbell, this is just such a better grip.
Yeah, we've got the weight sat under our handle instead of the weight either side, so it gives us a nice kind of center of gravity, I guess, is certainly with that movement.
Yeah, and I'm loving the banded pull downs, right? So I'm gonna throw some math at you. 1/2 kx squared. All right, that is the equation of force for the rubber band. So that's why when it gets to the top, it feels like it's pulling a whole lot more. That's because F, the force, because X has been longer, that's the distance. That's why it sucks at the top.
Yeah, in layman terms, we added the bands on so that we can keep that tension through a faster tempo, which is, I guess, what you said much more simplistically from my side. Look, the great thing about adding bands on, I feel, is that we can perform at a faster rate. Our cadence can be faster because we haven't got that free weight kind of suspended in free fall at the top of the curve.
You literally got the elastic pulling you back down.
Yes. Yeah, so the great thing about this machine is we can add the bands over those weight horns. Any number of exercises with the pull downs, we can perform them at a faster pace. So I wanted to try and complement the kettlebell swings, which we can only go as fast as the movement allows us, but we can pick up that tempo a little bit more on the pull downs. All right, 60 seconds each, back and forth. Let's move on, check out exercise number 2.
Let's do it. Exercise, we're doing the cable flies, supersetting that with the Basu push-ups. Now the big thing with the Basu push-ups here is the instability on the Basu ball, right? We're having that dynamic exercise instead of just a standard floor push-up.
Yeah, and we can perform this both ways, like the ball says, both sides up, so we can have the flat disc up at the top. I find you've got much more kind of a stable position to push up from.
I prefer that over what we're doing with the actual ball itself.
The benefit of having the base up at the top, that sort of dome, is that I feel it's less pressure on the wrists. So we can have the hands kind of more spaced out, and there's less pressure going through the wrists as we're pushing up. So we're keeping a faster pace on that one. still performing at speed, and then moving, or switching rather, with our cable flies. Great pectoral activation with that long sweeping bird-like kind of bear hug, I guess, around a tree.
I feel like I'm pre-exhausting my pecs with the flies before going into the push-ups and the basu, and that made it harder.
Now, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer starting on the cable-based movement for reps and then going on to more of the dynamic exercise, or does it make any difference for you?
I'd prefer to be on the dynamic first, because that's where I know that I'm using all of my stabilizers.
Interesting.
Not taxed or exhausted at all. You know, so there's a higher chance of injury, I would say, if you're going from the static movement to then the dynamic exercise, if you don't have strong wrists to start off with.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's continue this conversation moving forwards and check out exercise pairing number 3. All right, exercise 3, overhead tricep extension paired with some explosive medicine ball crunches.
What I'm really loving about these medicine ball crunches is the explosiveness, how we really got to throw that ball up. We're doing like 2-3 feet, really working on the triceps, supersetting that with the overhead extensions. Triceps are gonna be on fire.
Yeah, some real power there with those medicine ball crunches, certainly feeling it in the abdominals. And then the triceps, instead of doing the standard tricep press down, I like to keep the arms up. Therefore, we've constantly got tension in the triceps throughout the full duration of those 60 seconds.
Yeah, there's no rest for our triceps in this one.
Nah, abs and triceps, all exercise 3. Whew.
For our 4th exercise, we've got the rope bicep curls coming in, then with the TRX rope curls. These ones, Rob, I do not like these.
Yeah, that was the whole reason for bringing it in. It kind of creates both, I guess, instability, even though we're standing on the floor.
You got the body control.
Exactly, we're using our body as the resistance, which I'm guessing puts you at a bit of a disadvantage just because you're a little bit taller and longer length than me, so you're gonna work that much harder to be able to curl your body weight up towards the handles.
Yeah, I might have to change the variation just a little bit. Use a little bit of my back more than just the biceps to pull up my weight.
Yeah, it's a great thing about these TRX is that it's based on your own kind of perception of the exercise. So even though I might be doing more of a standing bicep curl because of your limb length, maybe you're doing more of a row, still activating the biceps, but hitting more of the back as well. And then those cable curls, short bar, great tension on the biceps, keeping that movement going all the way so the arms are nicely kind of pre-exhausted before we even come on here and start to lift our body weight.
Yeah, like you're saying with the cable, you don't get the free fall of the negative. It is still a time under tension as you're doing the negative part of the movement.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep it going. Exercise number 5. All right, our 5th and final exercise pair, suspended flutter kicks for the abdominals. We're pairing that with our sandbag toss. Kevin, I think we saved the toughest for the end. How did you feel about the sandbag toss?
I would rather do the sandbag toss all day long than the hanging flutter kicks. No, those are difficult, right? I'm not only taxing like my core while doing flutter kicks, I also need to keep my legs elevated and hang at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's the challenging part, I think, is we're not just working the abs, but we've got to keep our legs elevated, which is working our hip flexors, the hamstrings, our core, grip, back, all of those muscles are having to be worked just to get us into that starting position.
And it's the last exercise of the day, so I'm taxed.
Yeah, core, that's working hard. I mean, we've been involving that throughout the whole circuit today, but then focusing, almost isolating it towards the end, makes the 50-pound sandbag toss barely even feel like we're lifting weight at the end.
No, you gotta engage your core, you gotta stand up, throw it over the top while I'm already exhausted from everything else. It's a really good finisher.
Yeah, we've got that explosive action again. You've got to get down nice and low, find a good grip on it because it's got no handles on it. So you've got to get the full grip around the back, and then with that explosive action, drive it up and have enough force to be able to clear the top of your head. Which again, considering your height, I'm guessing you have to work a little bit harder than me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of our circuit, our 5 and 5. How does this kind of training compare to that you might kind of train to prepare for something like the Ninja Warrior?
This is a little more strength-based, I would say. Mostly like with the weights. The dynamicness of these exercises, though, is great. The explosiveness, really in Ninja, we don't have too much throwing explosive. It's more of a lower body explosive.
You're not really lifting any weight. It's more your body weight is the only weight, and you've got to get from point A to B and C across all of these different obstacles, right?
Yeah, 90% of what we do is majority upper body, right? So the throwing with the plyo medicine ball, that was nice. You know, keeping the core engaged while I'm up hanging from these things. Same with the leg raise at the end. I'm hanging and I need to raise my legs to reach the other obstacle to transition to point B.
Right, right. So with that being said and the workout now completed, what 2 or 3 tips could you possibly give to those wanting to train either for something like the Ninja Warrior or just exercise outside of the conventional gym space?
Well, 2 tips for Ninja Warrior for sure is gonna be grip strength. So at the end, when we're hanging, if you're doing pull-ups, pick up this 50-pound sandbag, that hand strength just to grip something, that's a huge one. And then the other things we're doing, like dynamic movements, right? More than just linear. You need to be twisting, you need to be explosive, you need to really get in a lifestyle movement rather than just our static exercises.
I love that term because we're all too familiar with training in the gym, isolating movements, specific body parts. A lot of these movements require all of our muscles to kind of function as one, which is where that sort of dynamic and lifestyle interaction come in.
Yeah, because in life, you're never just dealing with one muscle at a time, right? It's a combination of many things. So having that base foundation of our single exercises is great, but then you need to rope it all together to have these combined chain exercises.
Absolutely. Kevin, love to have you back in here again sometime soon, and we'll see if we can advance this kind of training even more.
Yeah.
Until then, that's the end of our video. Kevin, thank you again for coming in. Where can people find out more about you and your own space?
Yeah, well, I teach about space on youtube.com/a place called space, and then find me on Instagram at Kevin J. DeBruin.
Go check him out. See you guys back here soon. Keep training hard, stay strong, take care.